All right, so in this video, we're going to take a look at a feasibility matrix, also an evaluation matrix, where we can evaluate different software options or different product options, compare them against each other, and evaluate them against a specific set of criteria. So what we have here is it's just a very basic matrix, one that we can expand on, but this is probably the kind of a bare bones matrix. And I want to talk about kind of the structure of this and how this would be used. So first of all, we would have different candidates here. We have maybe 3 different options that we're wanting to consider. And then we have our feasibility criteria. We want to see what is going to be, and our purpose here is to determine which is going to be the best option. And we're trying to use very objective, maybe even an analytical approach to determining which product is going to be best. So I'm going to go through the different types of feasibility, and there can be additional feasibility criteria that you're going to want to look at. I'm going to cover just some of the basic ones and kind of show you how you would use this basic matrix. But you're certainly welcome to create your own, and I'm going to encourage you to create your own thing. If you see things that are missing from here, please add them to your own. So first of all, looking at the operational feasibility. So operational feasibility, that's going to evaluate how well that software candidate or that system candidate meets the requirements that you set out. And how well is it going to deliver your anticipated benefits? So that's what you're looking at operational feasibility. Does it do what we need to do? And can we get the benefits that we intend to get out of it? And for each of the feasibilities, we want to do some type of weighting. So let's say that this is going to be maybe 25% of the decision should come down to this operational feasibility. Now, then what we do then for each of the candidates, we put together a summary of our response to say, take a look at candidate 1. How well does that meet all of our requirements, and how assured are we're going to reap the benefits that we need to reap from that system? And then do the same thing for candidate 2, candidate 3. And then come up with a score. So it's easiest to come up with some type of quantitative score, especially if we're using this weighting factor. But you can use qualitative scores like high, medium, low, good, bad, moderate. But I encourage you to look at using a quantitative score. It works well with the weighting. So maybe we have a score of 1 to 10 that we evaluate each of these candidates against, and we score that, see how well they do, with the higher number, in this case 10, being the best score, and 1 or 0 being the worst score. All right, and then we go on to the other feasibility. So next would be the cultural or strategic feasibility. And this is going to see how well does this system fit into our processes, maybe our people's expectations. So we have certain culture that we have in our organizations that certain systems may align with that culture. But also looking at the strategy. Does this fit the IT strategy, the organization strategy, with where we're going? And that's another consideration that we want to include. And again, we give that a weighting, provide a response, a summary response for each of the candidates, and score each of them using the same scoring method, 1 to 10 or so forth. All right, and then technical feasibility. So the technical feasibility, that's going to look at, does this fit within our existing technical architecture? Is it an established technology, or is it maybe too cutting edge, or is it cutting edge? And also, do we have the skill sets to be able to manage and support that system? So those are the factors to consider when looking at the technical feasibility. Next, I have technical feasibility twice, so just ignore that second one. Next is going to be the economic feasibility. So this is going to be taking a look at the cost effectiveness of the system, taking a look at the cost, of course, but also then the return. Maybe you do an ROI calculation, maybe you do a payback analysis calculation. We can do net present value calculations. So the different economic models that different organizations are going to follow, but you use that consistently across your different candidates to come up with kind of the feasibility of the economic feasibility of how much return we're going to get for this investment for this system. Next is the schedule feasibility. So schedule feasibility is going to be taking a look at how soon we can implement this system. Some systems may take 18 months to implement. Some systems, particularly software as a service type of systems, we can implement them in hours. So take a look at the schedule feasibility, and you're going to evaluate them, each of the candidates against that schedule feasibility. And then finally, the legal feasibility. So this is going to evaluate the system for how it fits within our current legal and contractual obligations with maybe our partners, our vendors, but also looking at compliance. How well does this allow us to comply with certain regulations? And again, we're going to come up with a response for each of the candidates against our legal feasibility and have a weighting. All of our weightings should add up to 100. And then we're going to take each weighting, multiply that score times that weighting, and then add up all those weighted scores to come up with a weighted total for each of our candidates. And then the candidate with the highest weighted total, that should be your ideal candidate, or your best candidate, but they're still going to evaluate to see if that makes sense. Maybe there's other criteria that you didn't consider, but that would be the recommendation based off of this analytical, objective approach to evaluating the candidates. So again, this is a very basic feasibility matrix that we would use to evaluate different systems. And this is a bare bones. Create one that's going to address the kind of fit your needs, and maybe even make it so that would be fit within your organization look and feel and so forth. But there's something to look at, and I just wanted to provide this as an example of a bare bones feasibility matrix, so you can understand how you go about using this tool to make your evaluation.